right, guys, this is Crazy Kev here, and I'm here with CFFC fighter Jose Rodriguez. Jose, how we doing?
Good, good. Feeling good on Father's Day.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So, you just made that CFFC debut, man. Talk to us more a little bit about that fight.
Um, just it was good. I mean, I it went the way I expected it. There was a little bit of like shit talking beforehand on like my opponent's end, but I didn't really care. So just got in there, did my thing, and the results spoke for itself.
Yeah, no, definitely. And this is also a matchup that was booked and was canceled, but you got it, booked. Talk to us a little bit more about when that fight got canceled.
So what happened was is when he got canceled, he his promotion, I don't know, Art of War, whatever it is, they took the longest time to send me paperwork and what I need to get done. And I've expressed to them many times before, I'm not a last person thing. So if they don't get it right, then I'm not going to fight. So they just took their sweet ass time and they waited to 3 days before when I'm cutting weight and shit. And I'm like, you know what, forget this. I'm not going to do it. You guys aren't doing professional shit. So I was just like, fuck it, didn't fight. And then shortly after that, he messaged me on Instagram. It was like, you pulled out, you're this, that, you're that. Like he thought I was scared to fight him. And I was kind of telling him that, but he was talking so much shit that I almost went up to their gym and just straight up fought him. But he didn't reply after I said any of that.
Yeah, no, fair enough. That definitely makes sense. And do you think Chase was maybe your toughest opponent you had to prepare for?
No. I would say my toughest opponent was my last fight before him. It went to unanimous decision. He actually was a CFFC champ before me. He vacated it to fight me for the Flex Fight Series belt, and I ended up being a unanimous decision. He was probably my toughest opponent. But Chase, going into this, like I knew I had that last fight under my belt. He was also undefeated. He was 5-0. So it just, that elevated me and like my confidence and everything. So just going into this, not only was it not just a win for me, like just to beat him, but it was like to shut his fucking mouth because the kid talks so much shit.
Yeah, no, there you go. And with that being said, I mean, obviously, with that big win, I mean, what do you think is maybe next for you, man?
I'm definitely gonna go pro. I definitely need to go pro. Like I need to start racking up some money. Like I'm 20 years old, so the time that I have left, it needs to be utilized properly. And I don't think it's gonna take a long time for me to get up to that next stage and hopefully get that black belt in CFFC in the next year or two.
Yeah, no, that would definitely be awesome. And so when you go pro, I mean, is your first fight going to be in CFFC, do you think?
I hope so. Like that's the goal. They're the premier promotion right now before you get to the UFC, and that's how you get noticed. So I think going into my fight too, I knew that. I was like, I knew I have to impress these guys. I know I have to like put on a show for the fans, for my family, for everything. So like everything, all that played a big factor in how that fight went too.
Yeah. Now, have you talked to the promotion at all about like maybe like, hey, after this fight, I do plan to go pro. Keep an eye on me or anything like that.
My coach did. They told me about a pretty good stuff. Like my coach handles that, so like he just told me beforehand, if you do the right things, like you're gonna be fine. So I mean, he kind of handles that. But as far as me directly talking to them, no, I haven't.
Yeah. Yeah, no, fair enough. That definitely makes sense, man. And when it comes to just competing and stuff in CFFC, I mean, what is it like to kind of compete in the 2300 arena, man?
It was so fun. Like the atmosphere. I was in the back the whole time, so it was empty. Like seats were empty when I walked in, and then when I came out, it was packed. I'm like, oh my gosh, it was a much more surreal experience, and it was honestly like that elevated me too. Like I'm a showman. Like when I'm out there and I see people come to watch me, it's like shit. It gives you that edge.
Yeah, no, it definitely does, man. And what's maybe some like behind the scenes stuff when it comes to like getting a fight book for CFFC that maybe like fight fans don't typically know about that you have to go through?
Just it's hard. It's hard for my coach to find people to fight me because of my wrestling background. Like I was a national champ in college for wrestling, two-time national finalist, and so like that being said, people always do their homework and then they're like, well, he's a really good wrestler, but then they look at your record and it's like all knockouts, and they're like, well, what the hell? I don't want to go against a wrestler as a national champ and then he's knocking everybody out. Hasn't even wrestled. So
Right.
I guess Chase didn't really care. So but he got knocked out too, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. And yeah, man, talk to us a little bit more about that wrestling background that he got, man.
Yeah, so I went to Iowa Central Community College. It's 2 year school. Like a lot of big names in MMA went there, like John Jones, Colby Covington, Cain Velasquez. A lot of my teammates are from there. Darwin Penna, the same. He was on the first fight card. He's there. Tyree Sutton, he's there too. So a bunch of guys that were on that card were my actual teammates in college. So that was awesome. Like that was fun. But yeah, that's where I went. And that when you go to Iowa Central, like seriously, you see when you walk in, there's a fat head of John Jones right there, and then you're just like, wow, like this, you're in the right place because everybody in there is like wants to train fighting, and then also transitions into that from wrestling into fighting. So I knew I was in the right place to continue my career down this path.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. And what's maybe some of your favorite wrestling memories that you might have when you were competing?
My favorite wrestling memories. I would say down in Vegas. So I was me and my buddies. So there's something called the U.S. Open.
Uh-huh.
We were the youngest three to enter the tournament, and we went to that U.S. Open. We were like 19, and it was usually it's just grown men in there, like people that are like number one in the world, top 10 in the freaking United States, top 10 in the world, and then so we tried to get that. Under our belt, like to see where we were at, and yeah, I did like decently good. I didn't win a match, but I had some close matches with like Division I All-Americans, and this is when I was in high school still. So I was like, I knew I was on the right path, and that's probably my greatest experience. But as far as wrestling in general, just I would say the state tournament. My best memory is winning nationals for sure. Like to this date, even more than all of any of the MMA fights because that took a lifetime of work to do that.
Yeah, yeah, that definitely makes sense. And when it comes to just like wrestling and stuff, like how do you typically prepare for a wrestling match? I mean, a lot of people talk about MMA, but how do you prepare for those wrestling matches that you had?
Almost pretty close to identical. The difference is like with MMA, you have a longer period of time to get ready for it. So that it's a lot easier rather than when you're in wrestling, you have to weigh in every single week. So you're not able to jump up and down in weight like all that. But as far as like camp wise, it's almost the same thing. Like we don't really look at people's like what they've done in wrestling. Like if they're like the top 1-2 dude in the country, then maybe you do a little bit of homework, see what he's good at. But besides that, you go out there and just you dictate the pace and you figure out what you're good at, and that's what you go with.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. And when it comes to like wrestling and stuff, I mean, did you happen to like bring any of your family or friends to your events as well too?
Yeah. So yeah, my best friend Brett Miner, he came from Iowa Central as well, but right now he's at Atlanta, Georgia. That's where he goes to school. So he flew out here. Had a ton of my family from Minnesota fly out here, and that this is the first time that they all got together. So and came out to my fight. So that played a huge factor too. Like my little brother, my mom, so that a lot of my aunt, uncles, cousins, everybody came. So that was really fun.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. And when it comes to just like training stuff, man, I mean, what are the vibes like in your gym? I mean, what do you typically like to listen to when you're training?
Survival is the best way I can say at Dante's gym. I'm telling you right now, everybody in there is a dog and everyone has an ego, and you're not the best one in there. And you quickly realize that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely believe it. And yeah, what maybe is like the favorite music that you like to listen to?
Favorite music, older music, like
Older music? Okay.
I don't know any of the rappers' names, but like just listen to some old stuff, and then whatever gets me pumped up. I don't
Yeah.
really have like specific favorite music. I mean, I love country, but that don't really pump me up.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, when it comes to like sparring and stuff, man, do you happen to have any crazy sparring memories that you might remember?
Um, I would say everyone's pretty like intense. So all of them are my buddies. So it's we push each other, but we're not in there to hurt each other. But sometimes it does get like I said, everyone in there does have an ego, so it does get hard sometimes. But I would definitely say there's one guy that I'd never want to go with. he's my coach, Carl Robertson. He,
Yeah.
yeah, I went with him one time, and I think, and then I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm not ready to go there yet again with you.
Yeah, yeah, no, fair enough. That definitely makes sense. CJ Lafregole, he's another guy that mentioned the same thing actually that you said that. So it's funny you say that.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah. He'll look right at you, like, you want to go, and then no, I just look the other way.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That definitely makes sense. When it comes to at your gym, you mentioned a little bit of sparring, but how do you kind of earn respect at your gym?
Showing up every day. That's it. We see people come in and out all the time. The people that are consistent, as you stay consistent, they start to see that, like, that, okay, I can bring this guy into our group. He's taking this seriously. He's not one of those guys that's flaky. So I think just showing up every day, listening to your coaches, not arguing. Um, I mean, I argue all the time with my coaches, but at the end of the day, I know they're right and I'm wrong. I mean, they've been in my position, so it's like just being respectful. If you have questions, asking questions, and try not to act like you're the best guy in there, because you're just not.
Right, right. Now you mentioned everybody in your gym has a little bit of an ego. I mean, how do you guys try to keep your egos under control?
It's hard. It is hard to, honestly. I don't know, because like you are fighting. Like, like when we spar, you are guys, like, you're actually getting punched and you're actually punching. So it is hard to, like, keep that under control. But I think as you get better and better, you learn how to control those emotions and stay calm. And those, even if you get hit hard, just staying calm, because when you get angry and stuff and you let your ego show, that's when you make mistakes. And the guys that we spar in there are very good at capitalizing on those, and they use that as tactics. So I think just staying calm and not trying to let it show, but sometimes shit happens. So.
Yeah, yeah. Now, what do you think is going to be the biggest change between going from the amateur to the pro scene?
Just the money. That's it. I'm still going to continue to knock people out. Still, I have everything. I have everything. So I think just money. The only thing is the money.
Yeah. Now, you think when you go pro, it's going to be a lot easier to find fights now?
Yeah, for sure. For sure, it's going to be, because now people are getting paid to fight you. Like, whether they're journeymen, whether they're in there to make this a lifelong career. At the end of the day, they're getting paid. So that's what some people just want. I'm not in it for the money right now. I mean, obviously that's the end goal, but right now I just want to keep building my name, and then keep getting these fights under my belt and get to a bigger promotion after CFFC. So.
Yeah, yeah. Now, you mentioned a little bit. Obviously, CFFC would be ideal for your pro debut. But if not CFFC, do you happen to have any other pro promotions you maybe want to fight on?
Maybe LFA. I mean, just the bigger ones. I don't really want to fight in the smaller ones. If I have to, I will. But I don't see myself doing that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, when it comes to like fighting and stuff, do you want to do any sort of like traveling and stuff, trying to go a little bit further away for your fights?
It just depends. I got a really good camp going on with Dante. Like I said, I couldn't have found a better place because of my wrestling background. And when you think of Dante Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like anyone that's watched him fight, he pushes you on the cage, beats you up, and then takes you down, and then submits you. So I'm using my wrestling, and then he's honing my jiu-jitsu skills and learning how to submit people, how to get off your back, and all that kind of stuff. So like I said, I couldn't have found a more perfect place. And on top of that, there's a secret of the striking in there.
Yeah.
I can't tell anybody, but it's in there.
Okay. Okay. I like it. I like it. And, one thing I like to always ask every fighter I bring on the show is I'm a Taekwondo instructor. I've been teaching for 6 years, training for 19 years. So I just kind of love martial arts and love what I do. And with that being said, man, with all the different guys I have at my gym, what advice do you have for them to keep coming into the gym and to keep on getting better and better every day?
Just show up. Show up. It's easy not to show up, but the guys that keep showing up, no matter how talented you are, will beat you at the end of the day, no matter what. Show up, just have fun. Don't make it into a job. Just continue to have fun. And if you need a break, take a little bit of a break. Just continue to have fun and keep showing up. And then, everything else will come.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely, man. And dude, it's been awesome talking to you, Jose. And with that being said, I mean, what's maybe your final message out there for the fans watching this video?
just keep following me. And if you do watch my fights, don't blink.
That's right. That's right. We won't be blinking. And awesome, man. We're looking forward to that pro debut. And thank you again for taking the time on Father's Day. It means a lot to me. And we're looking forward to what's next, my man.
All right. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
My man. All right. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yep. Take it easy. Bye.
Take it easy. Bye bye.